Thursday, November the 20th, the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra celebrates the music of Getz Gilberto, a show we're producing at the West End Cultural Center. Getz Gilberto is one of the best-selling jazz records of all time. It's a timeless classic, a must-own record, according to most internet blogs. And we're excited to explore that music. To do so, we've got some amazing guests joining us, including my friend of 40 years, a high school buddy. We played music together. We've been playing music together forever. And he's a wonderful tenor saxophonist, Paul Balcain. Thanks for joining me, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
So this show, you and I kind of planted the seeds of this idea about a year ago. We thought this would be a really great show to do. I think it's going to be. I want to just saxophone nerd out for just a second and talk about Stan Getz. And where he sits on the pantheon of great tenor players. And there are so many great tenor players. I'm curious to know what your introduction to Stan Getz was and where he sort of sits on that list of great tenor players in your mind.
Oh, geez. Yeah, like when I say he's one of them, you're right. I mean, there's so many. I mean, you could ask 15 or 20 people who are great saxophone players, and you can get 15 or 20 records, and they're all great.
Right.
You know, I mean, he was known as the Sound. I'm blanking right now on what was the ballad from the
Early Autumn.
Big Band. Early Autumn, yeah. Yeah. So the you know, and that got him introduced. I've had interactions with people that have been around him over the years, like Bob Brookmeyer and Bob Moober specifically. And there's I think Bob put it, he said, yeah, Stan is a great bunch of guys. So he was, I think he was a lot of things to a lot of people. You know, but I mean, he's like when I say he's one of them, I mean, he's one of those people that he might not be known for his technical prowess, but I mean, it was definitely there. And he was one of those guys that evolved in his career, going from big band to, you know, spending about a decade in the Bossa Nova era with like Luis Bonfa and João Gilberto, and then moving on to do things with like Chick Corea and Eddie Gomez in like the 70s and even in the 90s. So when we were going to school together, like that's the kind of stuff I had access to, like Lester Young, Stan Getz, Coleman Hawkins, all these people. And in my simple mind, I just equated him as one of the greats.
Well, and I think there's no doubt that he was. Definitely, you're right, though, a complicated character, and there's some interesting stories, and we can get into all that stuff on stage on November the 20th.
Yeah, we'll do it on the concert. So there's more reason to be there.
Exactly. Let's talk about that Bossa Nova phase of his career. It was a particularly lucrative one for him, and certainly perhaps he's best known for that era. Although it's hard to say because there's so many versions of Stan Getz. But what you've mentioned a bunch of records to me. We're drawing on a whole bunch of records. Talk a little bit about those Bossa Nova records of Stan Getz.
Sure. I mean, there was the Charlie Bird record, which really, you know, kind of was the thing that started it. And then I think they realized that there was something there. Now, again, another stage story. And this one was direct from Brookmeyer, but we'll save that one for the stage. So buy your tickets. But there was a meeting between João Gilberto and Stan Getz to discuss that record. They did it. It exploded. That would have been, I can't remember if it was like 64 or 66 that they did that. I think it was 66 because about 10 years later, they did a bit of a reunion concert. um, at Carnegie Hall. But in between there was there was the Luis Bonfa record. He did there was the Getz Go Go record.
That's a
Uh,
gorgeous record.
oh, it's killing, and I mean, a Strud Gilberto, that there's just something about that tone and that inflection, that really pulls people in. And I mean, she was highly featured on that on the Getz a Go Go record after the girl from Ipanema.
Is there anything else, Paul, before I let you go, that you would like audiences to know going into this concert at the West End Cultural Center?
I mean, other than I think we've curated interesting music around those records. It's not going to be an impersonation, but it's going to be we're paying homage to that. We've got some great Winnipeg musicians, and with direct Brazilian connections, like a long time guest of the orchestra, Marco Castillo. We've got Amber Epp singing, and everybody knows her from either Trio Bembe, Papa Mambo, or just herself and all. And then we've got somebody who's quickly becoming known in the city from Brazil, Emmanuel Bach. Fantastic guitar player, who I must confess, I met him when he had moved to Brandon, of all places, to finish his undergrad. And we met about 6 months into him showing up there. And I keep telling him that my only regret is that I wish we had met 6 months earlier, So.
Right. Well, that's great. You're right. Fantastic musicians on stage. That show is coming up November 20th at the West End Cultural Center, the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra, with fabulous guests, including the wonderful Paul Balcain. Tickets are on sale now at winnipegjazzorchestra.com. So we'll see you there. Thank you. Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil.